Hi, everybody. Hope you had a good Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day on this Monday and enjoyed the sunshine we had this afternoon. It actually warmed up pretty nice. I'm going to show you some of the highs, but I will tell you that Portland warmed up to 47 degrees, and even Troutdale, where they had east winds today, gusting as high as 38 miles per hour, warmed up to 45 after a low that was held above freezing last night because of the east winds, 36. We really, I feel like had the warmest case scenario today because the east wind started to develop Sunday night before temperatures really fell off. So about half of the North Valley, Portland up into Vancouver, or certainly Portland, got locked in the temperatures above freezing, and the east winds were generally 10 to 20, only stronger out near the gorge. Now, I realize some of you had frost and temperatures back down into the mid 20s this morning. I did at my home up here in Vancouver, but those cold areas, of course, had no wind. So, anyway, one of the stories is we're not done yet. We still have more cold nights coming, meaning frosty conditions and calm wind areas back down into the low to mid 20s again tonight, and even potentially going into Wednesday morning. The east winds are already starting to show signs of backing off. So if you live in a spot where you had some noticeable wind today, those winds are actually expected to ease somewhat overnight tonight and completely go away tomorrow. And then we'll be into light winds on Tuesday, Wednesday, into Thursday. Now, notice this. Now, remember this date because I'm going to circle back to this. So my headline is cold active weather pushed all the way back to February, question mark, question mark. Of course, it's the 20th day of January. This is a cold trough setting up on the European model, an anomaly over a 7 day period, February 12th through the 19th. So getting into mid-February. Here's the polar jet, which this model has been showing the 540, 546 millibar contour at 18,000 feet. That's a polar jet. Has a chance to dip down into our area. And when that happens, that's when you get snow levels down to 2,000 feet and even lower, and you get stronger cold storms with moisture, at least lower snow levels. Doesn't mean you're going to get, ice or snow on the valley floor, but certainly you're going to get some low snow levels. So remember this. This is what the model showed this morning, February 12th through the 19th. The next time that looks like, no, that's interesting. And that's a ways out. Remember that date. Okay. All right. So here's a recap 32 Saturday morning in Portland, 26 yesterday morning in Portland. These are the lows, the blue numbers, and we're not going to approach any of these. The record low this morning, 15. Portland had the east wind lock in, didn't even get down to freezing. It was 36. So again, we really dodged a bullet. There was concern that we would be freezing or colder in windy areas this morning that would produce dangerous wind chills down into the teens. That never happened. Even out in the gorge where it was windy, temperatures were above freezing. So again, we dodged a bullet there. All right, Tuesday morning, tonight, calming winds. We could get right back down to 16. Record low is 9. Wednesday morning, I still think we have a chance for a hard frosty freeze with low of 28. So again, several more cold nights coming, but these will be accompanied with sunny days. And we know by now that even with the east wind, which we're not going to really have tomorrow, the temperatures are warming up. So it's going to be interesting to see how warm we get tomorrow. I'm tempted to raise my temperature. More on that in a moment. Momentous Wealth Podcast. Listen on Apple Podcasts. Listen on Spotify. These are investment topics meant to educate you. So if you like podcasts and you're interested in enriching your education on investment topics, Momentous Wealth Podcast, and they sponsor my YouTube channel. So thank you very much for that. Okay, let's look at the tabular report from the Weather Service. This came out at 4:22 this afternoon. And I just want to show you the highs and lows. So Astoria, 30 this morning, but 49 this afternoon. PDX, 36 this morning, 47 this afternoon. Now, there were some colder spots. Vancouver, just north of the river, of course, Pearson Airfield, was 27 this morning, but 47 this afternoon. Much of Clark County, I would tell you, had good, solid, thick frost on the ground this morning. McMinnville froze, but not terribly cold, 31, a high 47. Then you got colder. Corvallis, no wind, 22, 46 the high. Eugene, no wind, 21 this morning, 44 the high. Oh my goodness, North Bend. Remember Southwest Oregon, that corner pocket was expected to be warmer than the rest of us. North Bend hit 59 today after a freezing low of 32. Wow, that's impressive. Even Roseburg hit 51. The coldest spots in the state, Burns was down into the single digits. The coldest temperature in the state was -3, 3 below at Meacham. That's an elevation up in the Blue Mountains. I want to see if I can find some of these cold numbers because let's see here. The Dow's 19 this morning, a high of 42. Let's see here. Well, who else is really cold? Prineville, 9 this morning, 39 the high. Where's Pendleton's report? Pendleton, where are you at? The airport. 17 this morning, 39 the high. Yeah. So it kind of shows you that we're certainly still getting some really cold temps, including some single digits out across the east side this morning. So these, let me see if I can update these, make sure I'm showing you the 5 o'clock temperatures. Okay, these are the 5 o'clock numbers. 48 Medford, 40 Eugene, 43 Portland, 39 Bend, only 7 in Burns. Good grief. 24 in Baker City. Actually, Burns did not report on the climate report, so I have a suspicion that their temperature site is not working. But I do believe they were single digits this morning. 38 degrees up in Seattle. Okay, you get the idea. You get the idea. We've warmed up. All right. All right, cold lows. Let's go through them. National blended model. This is tomorrow morning. Remember, east winds that came to life today, gusting to near 40 out in East Multnomah County, already showing signs of fading away and will at least be down to 5 to 15 miles per hour tomorrow morning. This shows 32, 31 East Multnomah County. So that's some wind overnight tonight. But I think it's by morning really going to be only 15. So that's not going to produce a horrific wind chill. That's good news. And then in the valley, up and down I-5, mostly light winds and temperatures in the 20s, 27 to 30 up around Seattle, 28 Kelso Longview, 26, 28 around Portland, 27. There's 27 degrees down around Dallas. There's 29 in Lane County. There's temperatures in the freezing in Tillamook, but mid 30s around Florence. Here are some temperatures 14, 12, 16 out east, 32 with some wind getting into the Central Gorge, 26 degrees in the Dalles. Okay, and you're not going to see, so just real quick, I'm going to show you. That's tonight. Here's Wednesday morning. You're going to see the same thing. Look at the valley 30, 31, 27, 29, 28, 27 up around Seattle, mid teens out east. So again, with no wind and a dry air mass with dew points in the 20s, we've got chilly nights potentially all the way into Thursday morning. Here's Thursday morning. I mean, not as cold, but still upper 20s from Eugene up into Portland and Kelso Longview and Seattle, 29, 32. Still teens out across Eastern Oregon, still some freezing numbers across parts of the coast. And then after that, Friday morning, we should finally start to warm up. But you get the idea. Make sure you have everything prepped outside for more cold, hard freezing numbers. Here's the air mass. This shows the low temperatures nationwide overnight tonight into Tuesday morning. So this Arctic air mass in purple, literally from coast all the way into Eastern Oregon. Wow. All right. 2 degrees below zero in Des Moines tonight expected. 3 in Chicago. 20 below zero up in North Dakota. Wow, good grief. Freezing temperatures. That's 19 down in Atlanta, Georgia tonight. Wow. So I just wanted to show you, we're still feeding off of this. Again, we're not really in the cold Arctic air, but we are getting a advection of dry air in our direction. And that's why our nights have been really, really cold. And why? Because our air mass isn't really Arctic, that we're allowing ourselves, or the sun is warming us up in the afternoon hours. We're going to continue to see that. Here's an air mass tracking map at 5,000 feet in the atmosphere. This is this afternoon. Here's the core of the cold air right over Missouri, my home state where I grew up. Here's the moderation taking place with the warmer air aloft at 5,000 feet. That's why, especially down in southwestern Oregon, North Bend was what, 59 degrees today? Good grief. Okay, so watch this. Here's Tuesday. The cold air is getting a little bit farther to the east. We're trying to moderate slowly, but the dew points are low, and we're still going to have cold, frigid nights, which to some degree will limit how warm we can get in the afternoon. Now, here's Wednesday. Definite warming. I've upped. Right now, I've got Wednesday at 48 in Portland, but I may change that to 50 degrees. Certainly, Wednesday is the day where in the afternoon we could really start seeing temperatures take off. If we don't hit 50 degrees in Portland on Wednesday, we certainly will on Thursday and other parts of the Willamette Valley. Here's Friday. See the cooling? There's a cool front that drops down Friday. It looks like scattered light rain amounts at this time. Now, I know we get cold. The first batch of moisture that comes in sometimes can be snow or ice. Right now, I don't see that. What I do see is some light rain showers coming into Western Oregon and Washington with a cold front. And that looks to be just a 1 day deal. By the time we get into Saturday morning, you can see we're cooler again, but Saturday primarily looks to be dry. And then by the time we go into here's Sunday morning, you see some warming starting to take place and come back into our area. Okay, that's kind of the air mass look. Here's the flow pattern look at 5,000 at excuse me, at 18,000 feet, 500 millibars. Here's the cold trough out east. This is this afternoon. Here's a warm high down off the coast of Northern California. Wow. And notice how we're pretty warm and we're ridging and we're dry. This is Wednesday. We're still dry Thursday. Here's that trough on Friday. The front comes in Thursday overnight into Friday. But then just like that, we get back into some ridging offshore with some warming going into the first part of next week. Here's Tuesday, January 28th. That's a big ridge. That's more dry weather. So you look at this into January 29th, and there's very little precip chances coming our way. Now, here is some colder air in a flat jet stream of probably some moisture the first couple of days of February. Polar jet just to our north, but over Washington. So that's cooler weather. And then we have some warming. And then just look at this. Okay, here's February 8th. There's, cool, some showers. Here's what's interesting. So remember I started off showing you that February 12th through the 19th? Well, even since this morning, the same European model now has moved that cold air threat with the polar jet south of us and snow levels down to 2,000 feet, maybe 1,500, maybe 1,200 feet, has moved that all the way up to February 9th and February 10th, and February 11th is active. And then by the 12th, that's gone. I wanted to point that out because it just shows you how inconsistent the models have been. The models hint at some cold weather episodes with at least low snow levels below 2,000 feet in February, but they're not consistent on timing and they're not consistent in between them. And then by the time here's February 14th, a weak system, here's a big colder trough, but that then quickly goes away. And you just get the idea that if you're starting to think winter is going to leave us alone and Portland's going to go through the winter with no measurable snow and no measurable ice, I got to tell you, I'm starting to wonder the same thing myself. In fact, some of the models now, their outlook ranges that go through the end of February give us no snow. So, it is what it is. All right. All right, let's go around the horn. Medford, 50 degrees right now. This is going to be an all dry forecast. Yep. And moderating 50 Wednesday, 52 Thursday, and then a little bit cooler on Friday into the weekend. But, not bad, right? Here's Bend. 47 sunshine Tuesday, 46 Wednesday, lows in the 20s, into the 50s on Thursday. Then there's that front coming through, holding Bend down into the 30s with a chance of some light snow, and then a cooler weekend with highs 32, 34. All right. Let's go up to Seattle. Chance of rain developing Thursday afternoon, night into Friday morning, and then a dry weekend. Daytime highs stay relatively cool. This shows Seattle mostly low 40s through the period. Okay. Out in Pendleton, let's see what's going on. All sunshine or decreasing clouds Tuesday, sunny on Wednesday, Thursday. Chance of some light moisture Friday p.m. Wouldn't be much. And I would say the odds are good. You actually don't get anything. And then you get back to sunshine over the weekend. Warmest day looks to be Thursday with a high of 40s. Some cold nights, even over this upcoming weekend, you're back down into the upper teens behind that Friday front. Okay, here's Salem. Low 20 in the 20s tonight, Wednesday, Thursday, still freezing with frost. Warming up to 47, maybe 50. Chance of rain with that front on Friday, then back to sunshine this weekend. And back down to freezing nights in the 20s this weekend. So we're racking up some cold, freezing nights. And all of this is leading to mean temperature averages for the 24-hour period more than not below normal. So remember 2 weeks ago or so, I talked about the 20th of January would be a swing door, some colder weather. Well, that has come true. We're just not getting moisture with it. Here's North Bend. 52, 55, 54, a little bit cooler this weekend, chance of rain on Friday. Okay. Quick look at the mountain. Timberline 39, they warmed up today. Wow. Ski Bowl, Government Camp only 30 right now. They'll be above freezing at pass level tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday. Looks like maybe there's 1 to 4 inches of snow showers. The snow level is falling down to 3,000 feet Friday and down to 2,000 feet Saturday morning. Snow chances for the Cascades cut off Saturday. Again, right now with the dry weather, all the passes are in pretty good shape, as you can see. Okay. This is my Mount Hood weather page, courtesy of Hillcrest Sports Store. You can rent gear, you can buy gear, clothing, and all of the the skis and boards you need at their shop in Gresham. Again, they sponsor my Mount Hood weather forecast page, which you can find on portlandweather.com. And Hazeldale Tire Pro sponsors my 7-day forecast. Here they are. 47 tomorrow would equal today's high after getting back down to a frosty 26 tonight. If you were above freezing this morning because you had some east wind, you're probably lighter winds and freezing tonight. Wednesday up to 50. Thursday 51 as we moderate in the afternoon. And again, that's when we totally get out of that Arctic influence for the most part. Friday, some showers. Not a guarantee that we get manageable rain, but possible. Cooler into Saturday. Sunday, freezing temps to 46, back to 50 to start next week. All right. I think I went a little long. Hope you found it interesting. Thanks for subscribing. If you haven't, please do so. That helps me out. I'm meteorologist Rod Hill, and I'll talk to you soon.